Now we're live. What's up, people? I just did a fucking monologue, and it was beautiful, and nobody heard it. So you're gonna have to wait till next week to hear it. We are not on time, but that's because I forgot to press the go live button. So, Pete, we are live now. Everybody can hear your beautiful voice. Say hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Guys, anyway, I will try what I tried to do this week, right now, next week, which was do a little monologue, bring the news section back, bring some class to the show. But since that didn't go off well because the BJ is classless, we're going to go straight into the topics that we're going to get into tonight, which is two fighting crackheads, okay, which is a very important topic, and some cities around São Paulo that are worth visiting. So if you're out there, if you've traveled around São Paulo, if you have any tips, any cities that you like around the region, please drop them in the comments. Um, but yeah, before we begin, I got to tell you what happened to me this weekend, which is crazy because Pete, you've known me for a while. Like, how often have you seen me upset? Like, really, like ready to beat the shit out of somebody upset?
Can't say I have actually.
Exactly. I'm super chill. Like, I'm the most chill person you ever meet. And also, I'm kind of chicken. Like, I really don't like to get into fights because, I got a beautiful face and I need to protect it. So I'm not trying to go out there, and especially on the streets, because you don't know what the hell's going to go on in the streets. People got knives, syringes. Like, yeah, definitely, guys. I'm a diffuser and not an aggressor. But Brazil, of course, this special place, the special island that we live on, it feels like an island, right? All into itself. It's made me be violent two times, as the aggressor. And the first time, I think I've told this story more than a few times on the show, which is where I just had this stalker, dude. I had this guy that was really into me to the point where he was like coming to my house. He was putting like these poster boards under the door that were like, I love you, and this, that, and the third. It was really freaky. And one night, he showed up. He was outside my door and calling me. This was back before WhatsApp and everything. This is what, 2010. I was very like, it was just me and nobody else here in Brazil. I didn't have that much of a network, so I needed to take care of stuff like just by myself. So I went out there and I just told him, "God, dude, you need to go home now." And he's like, "I'm not going." He's like, "Yes, you have to go home now." And he's like, "I'm not going." So I just smacked the shit out of that bitch. Like, I just took, pow. And then he woke up and then he started crying. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna call my mom." I'm like, "All right, dude, call your mom. I don't care. I'm gonna call the police. Call the police. I don't care." And he left, and then that was the last I saw of him, except that I saw him one time on the metro. This city is so small, and then he was like talking shit about me to whoever he was with. I'm like, thank you, like, think I'm the worst person ever. I'm happy, stay away from me. But yeah, that's the first time I think in my life that I had, like, I was just aggressive to somebody without, like, not in self-defense, let's say, like hands weren't put on me first. And then there was yesterday, like, dude, I'm at this nice little, what do you call it, cigar bar in Oscar Freire. And for those that don't know, Oscar Freire is one of the, like, most expensive streets, I think, in the world, Pete. I think it's sixth or seventh place, one of the richest streets in the world. It's like Seventh Avenue or Sixth Avenue in the U.S., Sixth Avenue in New York, right? So you're down Oscar Freire, so chicy. But as we've spoken a lot before here on the show, there's an area of São Paulo that used to be called Crackland. And Crackland was just this little place. It was like, like when you're watching The Walking Dead and those have those little pits where the zombies kind of just walk around in circles. That was Crackland, except that we had this really stupid mayor who couldn't get the idea of, like, it's a health crisis and a what do you call it, a crime crisis. It's both. Just that he treated it only as a crime problem, and he went in there, tore up Crackland, okay, put a few dealers in jail, but new ones will pop up shortly. And what happened to all the crackheads? They're just spread across the city. I mean, even down here where we live, Pete, I don't know if you've noticed, but there didn't used to be that many crackheads walking around, people homeless, and we do separate homeless from the ones that are addicted to crack. Uh, and a lot of more displaced people, if you want to use the more progressive language so we don't offend anybody. But guys, if you're listening to this show, it's the 83rd show and you're offended by the word crackhead, you're listening to the wrong show. But I see them now. Like there's people living under this underpass near my house that never used to be there. So Crackland has spread because of this. And so you're at Oscar Frady, and I'll admit to you, I'm a humble guy, but every once in a while, I think we deserve to, if we got a little bit saved up, let's go to a nice chic area and be a little bit bougie. I think that's okay every once in a while. And I really like the cigar bar. They're very nice to me. They even let me play the piano up top. They make some very good caipirinhas, and they got really nice cigars. I got this Dominican cigar that was delicious. So then one homeless dude passed. He wanted an olive. I was like, you know what? It's a fucking olive, and it wasn't even that good. I gave it to him. But then this other one, like about 30 minutes later, another one was coming, and I swear to you, Pete, it's like I got a sixth sense with this, especially with crackheads, because I had like this is gonna sound really crazy, and I don't know if I have a picture to prove it. Let me see if I have a picture to prove it. I think I do. You're gonna see that. And, so maybe I wasn't like on a negative energy. Maybe I brought it upon myself, perhaps. Okay, but Pete, you see this picture here? Is that my?
Um, very
It's gotta be
well.
my eyes sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little. It's a bit small because it's straight from WhatsApp. What if I do this? What if I open image a new tab? There you go. That should make it bigger. Is it bigger now? Yeah. That's easy to see. So as you can see in evidence picture number one, these are the olives that I offered the first homeless guy, and then the second homeless guy. But check this out, Pete. This is where that stuff gets wacky. You see how I have my cigar like this, and this is stuff that's just from like being on the street long enough. You start to be street smart with little things. Like I don't like to sit with my back to the door. That's from just living in Philly, and you will go paranoid. You do not want to sit with your back to the door. You want to see who's coming in. And two, everything that you put on the table, you want to put kind of closer to you, like facing you at your reach more than like at the street's reach. But for whatever reason, I don't know what got in my head, I decided to take the cigar from where it is and point it like towards the street. And I'm like, why did I do that? I don't know, but it's almost like I called this incident to happen thinking back. Because as I saw the guy come, I was like, I told Eduardo, who was with me, I said, here he comes. And then he's like, hey, can I have something to eat? So I was like, yeah, take an olive. So instead of taking the olive, he reached for my cigar. So I went and reached for his hand, but you know how these crackheads are. They're faster than you can imagine. So I missed his hand, but I kind of got a little bit of it, Pete, and the cigar fell on the ground. So again, I'm still peace and love filled because I don't want to have a confrontation with a crackhead. So I go down to try to get the cigar, and he steps on it. That's when it's like instinct popped in. I was like, no, dude, I paid a lot for that, and you're not going to do this to me. So I hammer fisted his inner, like, whatever, his shin, whatever. Pow! That got his shit off. And he wouldn't, but he didn't back off. Like, he just stepped off the cigar, put it up, and he wouldn't move away from the table. So then I shoved him, and then I started yelling at him. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. You motherfucking this and that and the third. And I was like, I felt so bad afterward. I think I kind of even got a little physically ill afterwards. Like I wasn't having a very good time after that because when it's bad energy, right? Like nobody wants to be violent, it's a negative energy, even if you're right about it, but it's like it's just negative. But then in Brazil, it's like you just got to live with those energy fluctuations sometimes and just learn how to balance it out. But yeah, guys, that was my weekend. And why was I up there? Because Paulista, by the way, is open It's closed to traffic on the weekend, to car traffic. And look at this, Pete. This is a very old video. There's music and there's stuff up there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we go up to Police to go see like live music. There's actually a pretty cool rock band up there, but there's every style, guys. Sometimes they'll have like the smart fit people doing like Zumba dances or whatever. So I just happened to like this band that was playing on that day. Um, but Pete, I know you've had some run-ins down here with some wacky people. Care to share any stories?
Yeah.
And
I
then later,
mean,
guys, we'll get into like best ways to avoid stuff like this. But first, let's hear the horror stories.
yeah. I mean, I've had a lot. Um, the first thing you need to know about being mugged in Brazil, and I think it's probably the same in a lot of other places, is that your muggers very rarely like jump out at you from the bushes.
Yeah,
They usually come to you as your friends. They try and hit you up, and it's not like they take a knife at you and say like, "Give me all your money." The usual tactic is they will probably just ask you for a set amount, like, "Give me $10." Right? With the thinly implied hint of violence, because they figure, like, okay, it's not worth your while. You're just going to give them the $10, right? It's not worth your
yeah,
while to fight them. And they're not going to, they're not going to risk like any serious confrontation. So they play it safe. Give me $10. I'm the sort of person, if you tell me give me $10, I'll say fuck you, and there will be a
yes.
fight. But I did actually once get mugged in exactly that stereotypical way, and it happened in Cracklandia, which is the area around the Luz subway, which is a place that I know to avoid at night. But unfortunately, it is a transfer station.
Hmm.
And I was coming back from a show near Metro Armenia at Hangar 110. Okay. And I live closest to the yellow line. So I had to transfer at Luz. But the line 4 was closed. So fuck, I'm stuck in Cracklandia around midnight. Now there is a bus terminal there, so I figured, okay, if I can just like walk to the bus terminal, I can probably get a bus somewhere safe. I didn't care where it was, somewhere safer than this, where I could eventually, figure my shit out and get a bus somewhere else that would get me home. But I set foot outside that station. I started looking around, man, and I was like, this is not good, man. This is going to be bad. And the thing is, I always say you need to pay attention of your surroundings. I was, but it didn't matter, man. The second my eyes were like locked on the bus terminal ahead of me, three guys ran up behind me. One got me in a headlock and knocked my head into a bus station, and
Damn.
the other two guys started going through my pockets, got my
Hmm.
phone, got some money. I responded with extreme prejudice. The guy that had me in the headlock, this was summer, it was like late December, so I pulled down his shorts and I grabbed him by the testicles and just started to squeeze as hard as I could. And
Oh
he
boy.
he screamed. But while this guy was suffering, the other two guys, they stopped going through my pockets and they started pounding on me. And yeah, they opened up a pretty bad cut.
I
Um,
remember
yeah,
this.
I tried to fight back, but there was two of them and one of me. The other guy was out, man. Like I crushed this guy's balls so bad, and I put the boots to him a bit. Um, But I backed off a bit and they didn't come after me. I was
Yeah.
really relaxed because they landed several punches. I had blood in my eyes.
I
And
remember this. This
yeah,
was this when your leg got all screwy too,
yeah,
and it was
yeah. When
yeah,
they
oh
knocked,
my god.
yeah, they knocked me to the ground, and I scraped a lot of flesh off the front of my right leg. There's still a
Yeah,
scar there, actually,
yeah,
and it's not the most sanitary neighborhood either. So I didn't think about
yes.
it much at first, but unfortunately, it got infected, and
Mhm.
I wound up coming pretty close to losing my leg. I went to the local clinic. They're like, "Yeah, that's infected. You need to get to a hospital now." To
Mhm.
make sure that this hasn't reached the bone, because if it has, you're gonna lose your fucking leg. And
Oh
fortunately,
my,
it hadn't. So they put me on antibiotics and all got better, but it left a permanent scar.
I
But
got you.
yeah, that's the thing. You need. I mean, even if you know your neighborhood, sometimes just the path you're taking from point A to point B can sometimes land you in a neighborhood that you know you shouldn't be, but there was just, there's
Yeah,
just no avoiding it. What can I do? The subway was closed. The only other thing I think I could have done is just stayed all night waiting for the metro to open outside the metro. But even that could have got you in trouble. You're still in the neighborhood. So
exactly, exactly.
yeah,
But
even just knowing a neighborhood is bad is not enough sometimes. Like you're gonna
this was
find
which metro was this? Was Luz or Dom
lose,
Pedro? Luz,
lose.
Luz, Estação. Now I'll tell you guys, what Pete is saying is absolute truth. It's just like I think you saw as I was sharing the screen. What happened to Crackland is because it was at a point where it was like pretty much like this. Like you couldn't even leave the station. They've cleaned it up quite a bit. Uh, but that's where, as we were seeing in those videos that were back here, was like Crackland has spread. Cracolândia expanded. I don't know. Expandiu. Is that how you write it in? Is that how you write it in Portuguese? Okay, Cracolândia expandiu. And it says, okay, yes, Crackland in São Paulo has gone through a process of dispersion and expansion from 2022 to 2025. And it's no longer a one location, and it's a one center. And so it's got these fluxes, okay? So there's been a lot more police action and places like that, but all these people that were in Luzes of the Virginia were fragmented. So what are the new locations for Crackland? Well, we got Avenida Paquimbu, which is close to the stadiums over there. Favela do Moinho, I'm not sure where that is. Brás, Terminal Princesa Isabel in some areas of the old center, but they've also migrated to the suburbs, to the periferias. Okay, and that's what I've been saying to you guys. It's like Butantan, where we are, didn't used to have this many users, and now they're here. Okay, and a lot of them are running away from like being persecuted downtown because down in the suburbs it's a little more chill. And again, guys, it's a tough situation because you see both sides. It's a humanitarian crisis, and it really is. I mean, you're looking at zombies. And what's up, Travelmatic? Sorry, we didn't say hi there. He's in early tonight. Yes, it is Crackhead Talk tonight. We may get into cities that you want to visit, if you want to get away from the crackheads. But one of the cities that I'm going to mention, last time I was there were more crackheads. And people that lived there said, yeah, now we got more crackheads. I was like, damn. Okay. So they're everywhere, everywhere. And it's a
Yeah,
real crisis. It's a real crisis. And Pete, the thing is, it's like one part of me is like, yeah, I have a heart. I know what it's like, da 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 da, et cetera, et cetera. And the other part of me, it's like, I care for my safety and the safety of others around me. And, I'm willing to protect that any way possible. So it's complex. And I think I've been in enough situations here where I've had, here they call them noyas, confront me or try to, be tough with me. And I backed down, but I didn't back down because I knew I couldn't fight. It's just like I don't know what could happen. And
Well, the
I
nice
think,
thing about crackheads,
yeah,
though,
yeah,
is that if they had money for a weapon, they would probably sell the weapon for drugs, like even a knife.
yeah,
Crackheads are probably the least likely um, confrontation you're going to
that's
have,
right. Yeah,
um, that's going to involve someone with a weapon, because if they had a weapon, they'd sell it for drugs.
I agree. And that's the stuff that I had to learn. And I was telling this story of what happened to me to my friend Brandon. And he said, he's like, yeah, they're aggressive down here. And I was like, I guess, because I never had to deal with that in the US. And I was just being honest, I just never did. And he's like, no, in the US, like you'll get one or two that kind of come at you, but for the most part, they kind of just stay in their little area. Like they don't come at you. But Brazil, guys, one, it's a social country. So even when people aren't on crack, they're coming at you. But imagine if they're in an altered state. And sometimes it's hard to tell, just like with regular Brazilians. I mean, there's a lot of cheating and scamming that goes on in Brazil. Why are they so good at it? Because Brazilians are naturally friendly. Brazilians will naturally be people that want to welcome you. So, like Pete was saying, his story about, like, I was just a guy that wants $10. And why wouldn't that be a normal situation? And then you start to like go crazy because you don't know who to trust. It takes a while to like kind of figure out, okay, this person's a for real person and this person is a not for real person. Like you catch on quick, right? Well, not that quick. Actually, it took a while. But so when you're dealing with all of that, but then put in some drugs on top of it, where the person is in an altered state, you don't know, is this a drug user who just honestly, like the first guy who was really sweet? He's just like, hey, can I please just have something to eat? And I was like, yeah, take an olive, dude. You know, it's like that's just what was on the table. It's not me be like I had a hamburger or fries and like you're take the tiny olive, you know. No, it's like that's what we had. We were having hors d'oeuvre. I can't even say it, Pete. I was just being a chic bitch for a fucking day. An hors d'oeuvre. Is that how you say it, Pete?
Hors
Hors d'oeuvre. I was having hors d'oeuvres, okay, with my drinks and my boyfriend next to me. Okay? And the homeless guy asked nicely and he got a fucking olive. But then the second guy, I think he felt some type of way that it's like, yo, like you can't have hors d'oeuvres while I'm walking around these streets suffering. So he came with a different attitude. He came with a different energy, and it took me there, which it sucks. I'm not happy. I'm not boasting about it. But yeah, I was ready to beat the shit out of the motherfucker. Pete, man, I wish he had swung back. That's the thing with crackheads. So this is the lessons I've learned in Brazil about how to deal with crackheads. They're just like those people in the states that like, you know, those guys that you go to the party and always want, ask for a cigarette. Can I have a cigarette? Can I have a cigarette? They got a lot of, and then they get a little angry, but they got a lot of bark and no bite because they're like they're little bitches. If they ever actually like
Yeah,
men
well,
or
most of them are skinny. They're malnourished.
yeah, exactly. So like if you just put a little bass in your voice, that's usually enough to like get them to go, right? And that's one thing I learned here in Brazil. It's like how to put a little bass in my voice. Because I tell you, guys, in the U.S., I live such a sheltered life. Like in this, in a sense, like there's not a lot of weird shit that goes on up there. You can kind of figure your life out. And I'm saying this as somebody that was like up in West Philly. I was in Southwest Philly, which is the most dangerous place I've met. I was talking to my friend Craig about that. I was like, man, I've been to some crazy places in Brazil, but nothing compares to Southwest Philly. Like, I got around. I'm not saying sheltered in a sense that like I never went anywhere, but you kind of nothing's gonna happen to you in the U.S. for the most part, right? Like for the most part, compared to Brazil, like there's a lot more crime that goes on down here, right? If in the U.S., if you have a slight bit of street smarts, just a tiny bit, you should be okay. Maybe you'll get pickpocketed once, right? Um, but here it's like you don't know where it's gonna pop up. So in Brazil, I had to learn how to be tough because I never had to be tough in the US. Like I had no reason to be, you know? And I'm still not a tough guy. Like I tell these stories. I don't know if people think I'm like, there's Phil. The one is, what do you call those people? Like those war stories. No, it's like, I'm not a tough guy. Like I'm scared shitless of most things, right? But I've learned how to like when it's time to go in Brazil, it's time to go. And it's like that. It's like this inner strength that I have now of not being afraid. And it took me a while with the crackheads because I was telling a story, Peter, of like this carnival in Faria Lima. And this is an embarrassing story, but it's just like I felt like I don't want to get in a physical altercation. It's a skinny ass little Noya, right? I was trying to meet this girl at the time that I was dating. She was there. She was around the corner from me. I was like where there's this church. And then he sees me and he like makes a beeline to me as I'm looking. And he's like, "Can I have your beer?" I was like, "No." So I take a step back and I take a sip, and he asks again, "Can I have it?" He keeps like I take a step back, he takes a step forward, take a step back. Like, man, I was getting kind of, when the blood's boiling and you're like, I'm gonna smash him over the head with this beer bottle in a second, but then I'd be the one going to jail. So what do I do? So I just kept like staring him down and drinking. So I got to the very end and he's like, "Can I have this beer?" And I was like, "Here, take it." And I just was like, "You can have that. Just give me my peace of mind." But I turned the corner. I saw her. I was so taken out of like I was cool, I was happy, and it's like it just fucked with the energy. So I gave her a goodbye and went home, and I was like, I never want that to happen again because if like I don't want to be like I felt manipulated into that. Like that whole thing was just weird, and I don't like to be in that submissive type state to somebody who has no weapon, who has nothing. It's just like their presence is like making me act different. And it took a few. That wasn't the first time that happened to me down here in Brazil because when you're down here by yourself, you don't know sometimes. Like, how does it roll? Like, the first time I got mugged down here, Pete, it was one dude. I was totally chill. I had my cell phone in my pants. And again, I had no clue I'd be like, you don't think about these things, that you're going to be mugged. I left the club at like 2 a.m. in 2008. This is the first time I've been mugged in my life. And that's the last thing I was thinking about. I'm going to be mugged because you've walked downtown Philly, you've walked downtown Newark, you've walked downtown New York at 2, 3 in the morning. If you're smart enough, nothing's going to happen to you. So I'm walking downtown São Paulo, and then comes this guy and he asks for some money. He wasn't armed. So I was really chill. I was trying to get him. He wanted my phone, but my phone was in my underwear. So I pulled out a $20 but then this dude came from the back. And that freaked me out, Pete. That's what made me change my whole mentality of like, oh shit, like how does this country roll? One, because I've never been mugged before in my life. But two, it's like you think you got the situation in control, and then this dude's coming from the back. So I'm not willing to risk it. I have a few times like fought back and not been mugged, but for the most part, I've always been in this state of like, all right, I rather just play it out, see how it goes, conversational wise, than something violent happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all about risk assessment. Like generally speaking, in a one-on-one situation, I will usually fight, which I'm not actually recommending. I used to have a student who was a public defender who worked with youth offenders, and he's like, man, especially if they're kids, like they don't give a fuck because the government will not prosecute them like they will adults, and like a young offender can literally get away with like a few years for murder.
No,
uh,
that's crazy.
so yeah, you got to be careful. I mean, some of the decisions I've made, not the smartest, but I
Yeah,
generally try and do some risk assessment, which is number one, does this person have a weapon?
yeah, visibly.
Number two, can this person take me?
Yeah,
Because some of them are, a lot of them are like kind of malnourished. They're smaller
very.
than me. They're skinny, so it's like a lot of them can be discouraged with just a couple shots to the head, which I don't mind taking if I don't think they have a weapon. And the third thing is, are they alone? Because, like you said, you may get into it with one person, and then all of a sudden, two other guys appear behind you, and you're like, "Fuck! Now I'm in trouble."
Yeah,
Uh, so those are the three things you got to take into account.
I
Do they have a
agree.
weapon? Can you take them? Are they alone? And is it really worth it? I mean, what are you going to lose? Like for
I
me, I don't take my phone out because my phone is something that I really can't afford to lose because I don't have photo ID, so I can't get my number back if I lose it. I lose a
yeah.
ton of business contacts. So I really don't take my phone out because that is something I cannot afford to lose. How much money you got? You know, most people don't carry cash nowadays. That's probably a good thing. But if you're not carrying cash, then you're probably carrying your phone. And you don't want to lose that either.
Yeah.
So yeah, you really have to do a lot of risk assessment, and
it's
generally
like
it's better to avoid confrontation, but sometimes it's necessary.
that's the part, Pete, that I had to learn here. That sometimes it's necessary. The first time I yelled at somebody that was trying to mug me, and I saw that it worked, it like kind of snaps you into something because you see it a lot on these news reels. You know, it's just that they don't always end well, and the people get shot. But you see that Brazilians like they'll yell at the mugger, which is weird because they'll yell at them, but they won't like necessarily fight them. It's I don't get it. Anyway, like Brazilians do a lot of yelling before like something physical actually happens. Sometimes I think Pete can witness to this. Like bar fights take a really long time to start.
Yeah.
I want to go home, but I want to see if a punch is gonna be thrown. Anyway, so that gives you time to risk assess because you see your surroundings, you see if you're in a place where you can run. Sometimes, Pete, I think I've done them all. I've run, which I think I've told that story about the guy shot, his gun behind me, but that was a run situation. I've verbally fought back. I was like, I'm not gonna be giving you shit. I've also been mugged verbally, which is crazy. That was really crazy that that happened, but it happened. I'm ashamed to admit it, but you know, I've had a knife pulled on me, but I kind of slipped out of that one. So I've had like the whole gamut. I've just never had a gun pulled on me. Thank goodness. Hopefully it never happens. But each time it's a different version of yourself of like what are you gonna do. So like this situation on Sunday, that wasn't a mugging situation, that was just a disrespect situation, but it was like snap judgment. Like I wasn't thinking, it was actually kind of dangerous because you could have had you could have gotten a knife from the table or something because I was crouched down to get the cigar. But that's the thing, like I wasn't going down to do something violent. I was going down to get the cigar, and then he put his foot there, and I just kind of pop, get your foot off this motherfucker. So it was like, 1, 2, 3 type situation. So sometimes that happens. Sometimes you don't know what your reaction is. Sometimes people just freeze. You know, I'll tell you this, Pete. We have a message from our friend from the show. See if you can hear this.
Hoje estou sem condições. Não tenho dinheiro vivo. Fica longe. Sai fora. Socorro.
Pete, do you recognize any of these words or phrases?
Mm, no.
All right, listen one more time, guys. So these are some things you can say if you are in a kind of dangerous situation or somebody's asking for money. Because, like Pete said, a lot of them start just like, hey, you got R$ 2, R$ 5. Hoje estou sem condições. I can't do it today. Não tenho dinheiro. Vivo. I have no real money, no cash. Fica longe. Get the fuck away. Sai fora. Sai fora is a good one, Pete. Socorro. That means help. Okay, learn that one. Fica longe. You got a lot of these fica guys. Fica longe. Get out of here. So listen one more time here.
Hoje estou sem condições. Não tenho dinheiro vivo. Fica longe. Sai fora. Socorro.
All right, and
Sai do meu caminho.
get
Não
out.
me encosta. Polícia.
Yeah, these are more
I love
very
these.
important terms that you want to use if you are in a dangerous situation. Policia is the most common, right? Police, não me encosta, don't touch me. Okay? Sai do meu caminho. That's what I told the guy. I was like, get the hell out of here. I was like, oh, sai fora. I used that one. That I think that was one of the ones in the list. Sai fora means literally get out, stay away. And sometimes, guys, I've learned here in Brazil, if you just put a little bass in your voice and you're very direct, because Brazilians are not very direct, it can really change that mood and it can really diffuse the situation. So I've learned how to diffuse by just being very direct, because that's what, Pete, makes these situations so dangerous here. Because you don't, they're like, you have no clue where they're going, because it all depends on like mood, moment. It's not like you kind of know like the steps of being mugged in Canada, I imagine, like, or the steps of being mugged in the US. Like weird shit usually doesn't happen. It's like just a gun is shown, give me your money, thank you, goodbye, boom. But here, like sometimes they want to talk to you and then they want to get in conversations. Have you ever had that happen to you where it's like you don't know
Yeah,
where
yeah. The
shit's
very first time I got mugged in Sao Paulo was I was living in Jundiaí, but I was in Sao Paulo, and I was at Bar do China in Anhagabaú. It's been there forever. I think it's still there. And the funny thing is, my Portuguese teacher at the time told me, "Oh, you need to start more conversations with Brazilians. Practice your Portuguese." And this guy came and sat at my table, and he was fucking bumming my beer. He was bumming my smokes. But I was like, okay, this is what my Portuguese teacher said I should be doing. I should be trying to practice my Portuguese. So I was practicing with him and like, okay, if I have to fucking give him some booze and smokes, I guess it's not a big deal. But he kept trying to like get me to go off with him. He's like, oh, I know a place where we can meet some girls, right? Come with me. Oh, not into girls? Well, you man, get you some drugs. You like marijuana? Like, come with me. It's like the whole thing seemed to be about getting me to go with him somewhere. So he was just giving me bad vibes. I was going to a show later, so I excused myself and I started to walk towards the cathedral at Say. I was going to catch the metro from Say. And you go through this pedestrian area, and I went down this alleyway to take a piss. And this guy appears behind me, and classic, he's like, give me $10. And he wasn't friendly anymore. He's like, I want $10. Give it to me now. And I was like, you're out of your fucking mind. And the thing I could tell he was like making like he was gonna hit me, but he was a lot smaller than me. So I think he was afraid that if he hit me, I'd hit him back and it would be a lot harder. So yeah, I basically told him to fuck himself and I drilled him in the head about 4 times. And he whistled for other people to come help
It's
him.
like a movie.
Yeah, but nobody did. Nobody did. So I hit him again, and then I just fucking ran because who knows if other people are coming or not. I wasn't afraid of this guy, but if he was whistling to people who could be coming, I didn't want to be there when they got there. But yeah, that was it. That was my first mugging in Sao Paulo. A guy that I was sharing beer and smokes with, and then he followed me till I was alone, asked me for $10, and yeah, I gave him a couple shots to the head and took off before any reinforcements arrived.
Dude, this is the São Paulo way. I think I can't remember. Well, no, my first mugging is the one that I showed you, but I
And I
had
actually I met the guy at the Havelian later that year too. That was
wait,
hilarious.
what'd you say?
And
Wait, say
he
that again.
tried to shake my hand.
Wait, say that again. Wait, what happened? Because he came in
I
strong.
met him at the Havelian later that year.
Oh, the New Year. Okay, and he tried to shake your
Yeah,
hand. Dude, that's
yeah.
happened to me before where people have tried to get one over on me. And some that actually have, and they try to say hi or they walk by you like nothing happened. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Um, yeah, Brazilians are weird that way. It's very like, okay, there's just something that happened. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, there's some really bad people here too. So I don't want to be light about it. By the way, those those phrases that I was sharing with you were sent by our friend Marcos, which I'm trying to share the screen. I'm losing myself here. There's too many windows open. Here you go, Pete. There's Marcos's Instagram page. So follow him. He was on the show last week, I believe, and a couple weeks back, talking Portuguese and giving us some tips. So he's always going to give us some tips depending on what we're talking about. So I wrote a few of them here, and I want to give a shout out to people listening. There's a few people on tonight. If you got any crackhead stories you want to tell, tonight is the night. We do have Travelmatic that's on. We always say hi to him. Thank you for coming on. We got Super Blue 1914. He said he just got back from São Paulo yesterday. Thanks for the advice. Thank you for trusting the advice. Oh, sorry, that's me saying thank you. Um, After 22 years, what's up, Anthony? I've never been robbed or assaulted. Yeah, and I agree. Guys, it's like, I don't know, once you kind of figure most of it out, you can kind of avoid it. But not always, Anthony. That's the thing. It's like not always because I see how you move. Like you're very like sometimes you don't stay out too late. Like once you want to really explore and go out at night and like I was at this neighborhood in Bahia called Rio Vermelho, and I was there. Was it by myself? I think I was still by myself. Oh no, no, no. I remember what happened when I went to Salvador, Pete. I did get there by myself, but I met this other expat, this other traveler. He was there, and we just linked up. And we walked around, blah blah blah. We heard that there's this neighborhood called Rio Vermelho, which is kind of cool. That's where the parties are. So we went there, and people were like, "Be careful, just be careful. There's a lot of muggies, a lot of muggies. Be careful, be careful." And walking around, you could kind of see that, yeah, if we were here at a certain hour, at a certain moment, like there's nobody around. Like now, there's a lot of people here. It'd be tough for somebody to just like run up with a gun and be like, "Ah, give me your phone or this." So you got to be kind of smart in that sense. You know, you can go out, you can go to the party. Now, Rio de Janeiro is kind of infamous for having these things called arrastão. Do you know what that is, Pete? An arrastão?
Yeah.
Yeah, arrastão. I mean, there's no real translation for it. It just means like a big drag. And I guess it would be a big drag. Uh, because Pete, it's when like 20 of these motherfuckers just like go into a place and just rob everybody in mass. Like they just go into a
Oh
supermarket. They
yeah, they
go.
used to do that on buses, I heard.
Yes, there's still. I mean, São Paulo used to have a lot more. I haven't seen it in the news as much. I don't know if they still have arrastões as much here in São Paulo. I'm sure they do. But Rio is still very famous for them, especially on the beach. In fact, I think there was a guy that said that he was just in an arrastão. He was in Rio recently. He's like, man, it was a big arrastão, and they took our watches and blah 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 blah. So yeah, so sometimes you don't know. I mean, shit happens down here, but if you have a minimum sense of like street smarts, you should be okay. Like Anthony said, he's been here 22 years. He's never been mugged. Like even with downtown Sao Paulo, Pete, I think it's getting a lot safer than it used to be. It used to be kind of scary walking around there, even like 3, 4 p.m. And I have
Yeah,
to,
I think there's a stronger police presence there in the day,
yeah,
but at
yeah.
night it's still pretty dodgy, I would say.
But it depends where you're going because we had that cultural center. We got a new one down there that we're working with, and sometimes we leave there 10, 11, and like I think they cornered off or quartered off, I should say, like this section of like from Anhangabaú up to Anhangabaú. Oh well, no, I just said the same word. Anhangabaú to like the Terminal Bandeira side of it. Like that whole area. República, a little bit of São Bento, has been kind of protected a little bit, quote unquote. And then once you cross that line, it's like no man's land. That's when you start getting to lose Princesa Isabel, Santa Virginia, all those areas. It's like good luck. But if you're like on this side of that little bubble, which is really the São Paulo the government's attempt to like kind of gentrify this area a little bit. They've like masked as renovation. They haven't fucked up the old buildings as much yet. It's tough to like truly gentrify São Paulo downtown because there's so many beautiful kind of old style European architecture down there. Baroque, I think that's the word you use, right? Baroque architecture. It's tough to cover all that up. People would never go for it. That said, it created this little bubble, Pete, of like police presence. Like you can walk down Republica Park, whatever, the square, at 9, 10 o'clock, and chances are you're not gonna get mugged like you would like
No, that
even
central
4 or 5 years.
area is pretty safe all around.
Yeah,
It's when you get to what that electronics district. It's like a really
yeah, the
busy.
Santa Virginia.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I
what I'm
mean,
saying.
during
That's
the
outside
day
the
it's
bubble,
fine,
guys.
but at
Yeah.
night, ooh boy, man.
Never go there, guys. Never go there. So,
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
all the businesses are closed, so the only people on the
yes.
street have bad intentions.
And that's another tip there, like, because Pete was saying there's the businesses, it's a business district. So, business districts, guys, generally are dangerous at night because everything's closed. Even if it's like a nice area like Villa Olympia, I used to work a lot there during the day. That's where I made most of my money. And then I remember having to go home sometimes from Moema to a city called Taboão da Serra. And it's a long trip. And I would cut through this neighborhood called Vila Olympia, the same one that I used to work at. Man, it's like a ghost town. It's scary. There's nobody on the street except for like some weird people. And I remember Pete, this like hooker got on the bus with me and started talking to me and blah blah blah. It was weird. Uh, but there used to be this little tiny vestige of a favela there that eventually they just like railroaded. So every once in a while, you get like some colorful characters. Let's just put it that way. Would get on that bus with me on the same way, going the same direction I'm going. But just I understood very soon. It's like okay, most dangerous areas to be in Sao Paulo are areas that are very commercial and at night they go dark. And if it's super residential, guys, like super, like try to find a place if you're living here that's a mix of like it's residential, but there's some businesses, there's places open, because then it's less likely that some stuff will happen because there's a lot more movement of people, right? The more isolated you are, the more of a target you become for crime. Um, anyway, reach out to Marcos if you need to say these wonderful words here. Okay. But Pete, we got enough time. We're not going to stay on all night, but I do want to just end on a happy note and talk a little bit about this, guys, which was the topic tonight. And thank everybody for listening, and thank everybody for getting that subscribership up, Pete. We just kept going up and up and up and up and up and up. We got 1,800 subscribers now. So, guys, I want to get to 2,000. That's going to be nice. Get to 2,000 before the end of the year and just continue to do some special things for you guys here on the Brazil Expat Journal. Give you actual information and on the channel in general. I've been doing a lot of videos here recording in Portuguese with Eduardo. He started a channel called Pop Club with 3 B's. So you can find him, Eduardo Medeiros. It's Portuguese, guys. So practice your Portuguese. And you can hear me on there. I haven't figured out how to like do the AI voice of me. So like I can talk. No, Eduardo Bruno. Sorry, I said that wrong. And it's Pop Club. And I said that wrong before getting yelled at for saying that wrong. So give me a point. Anyway, and here you go. I just put that on the screen there. So you can follow that channel. When we talk about all things pop, he does a lot of cool video montages and stuff like that. So I'm doing a lot of that over there in Portuguese. Try to add more stuff on this channel. Get Pete over here at my house because we haven't recorded in a while, Pete. I think we owe. I think the last video we did was Stanley Kubrick, and that got a nice little viewership count. And in the comments, somebody said, do Spike Lee. So I think we owe somebody Spike Lee or Rocky. I forgot which one we decided on. Rocky, I can do faster because I kind of know those movies by heart, and I just watched Rocky one like 2 months ago. But Spike Lee, I'd have to watch. I haven't watched all Spike Lee movies, but I would definitely be down to do it.
Yeah, I that's something that's going to be on the table for me in the future for sure. Because I don't think I've seen. I know I haven't seen Girls Gotta Have It. And I'm sure he's done movies that I didn't even know existed. Because to be
Yeah.
honest, like you recommended Bamboozled to me, and
Mhm.
I watched that not knowing it was a Spike Lee movie. It's like, oh shit, that's a Spike Lee movie. So he's probably got some ones I've never seen, but I'm kind of on my I got a list going right now. I'm doing Milos Forman at the moment, and then he only has 12 movies, so that should be really quick. But after
Yeah.
that, I'm going to do Frank Capra probably, who has a lot more. Not as
Yes.
many as you would think, but
I thought it was like
for
50, right? They
no,
had 50.
no, no,
Oh,
no, not that many. Because
wow.
he actually, like in World War II, he went and did the whole "Why do we fight" thing, and after that, he never really got back into filmmaking. He retired in like 1961 and he lived for like another 20 years.
So guys, if you're into movies, this channel is gonna get back into like putting movie stuff out because I just figured out stuff like I'm learning how to use this YouTube here. So thank everybody that's following and supporting. And I just learned because the channel's a mess. I need to find a day to just like organize everything because we got like Star Trek stuff on there, we got X Files, we got a bunch of everything. Some of the audio is horrible, some of the audio is great. So I'm gonna clean it all up, but I just realized you can open like a different channel, but without having to like create a new channel. Which probably works on YouTube out there is like, oh my god, that's like knowing that B comes after A. But okay, for me, it was a revelation. So what does that mean? I want to separate the Brazil Expat Journal stuff from like the movie stuff and put all that on there. Because when we do the movie stuff, that stuff comes out nice and people actually listen to that too. So I want to get back into doing that. And I had a lot of fun with the Stanley Kubrick one. So coming soon, okay, to a channel near you, more movie stuff and music stuff too, because I am recording a lot of music. But anyway, guys, let's get back here because we can't stay up all night. Look at this. I'm going to give you 5 cities that you should visit. You can do a day trip to. Beautiful places, nice food, restaurants. You have a good time if you go there. And real close to São Paulo. You know, if you're located in São Paulo, you can do day trips here. You can take blah blah car. Before I get into all of the cities, option to travel by blah blah car. I highly recommend it. They usually only accept cash, so just be aware of that. But if you do have Pix, that works. But forget credit cards because it's very informal but formal and safe at the same time. It's like calling an Uber, but it's inside this platform called blah blah BLA, and you're gonna meet somebody on that app that's going to the same place that you're going, and they're gonna give people rides. And usually they will try to fit enough people to fill up the car. So you'll meet some new people as you're traveling, and they're usually nice people. I've never met real like jerks on these blah blah cars. Um, and it'll be like a third of the price that you'd pay to like take a bus, and sometimes more fun and faster. And you get to practice some Portuguese. I highly recommend it. So, and it's really safe. Like I said, it's like ordering an Uber. Like you have evaluations in there. People evaluate you. I have 5 stars, by the way. Thank you very much. But yeah, so use blah blah. But if not, guys, any of these places you can get to by bus. This is when you can just take a bus. I think at either Chiate or Barra Funda. So it's a big city, Pete. About 1.2 million people. Have you ever been there to Campinas? One of my favorite cities.
No, I have not.
Man, you would love Campinas. It is such a nice place. It's like just a regular, normal city. It's like São Paulo, but like just if it wasn't a mega city. City. It's known as the high-tech Silicon Valley of Brazil, with over 1.2 million residents, high quality of life, a lot of green spaces, way cleaner. Okay, we have a lot of places to go there. Here, just a few. Let me show you real quick over here. I went there. I've been there a couple times, Pete. I always end up in Campinas. I first went there because, which is weird to say, but Campinas, for whatever reason, people think is like a gay city. I don't know what gay person came out of Campinas, but apparently, enough gay people that have some fame have come from Campinas for them to call Campinas like a very gay city. So when I first got to São Paulo, I used to work with this organization, which was to help gay youth in both São Paulo and Campinas. So we would travel to Campinas a lot, set up, what do you call, how do you say, bate-papos in English? Just Q&As, not even Q&As, just like, like little debate circles, whatever. Similar stuff to like what I was doing in the U.S. with the Attic, just kind of organization like that. So one of the organizers was from Campinas, so we would go there a lot to like kind of rehearse plays. They would be doing like these kind of dance stuff. It was wild. Anyway, that's how I got to know Campinas in a very gay way, and I just like the air there. I was like, "Ooh, this is a cool city." So then I ended up going back because I got a job doing some voiceover work for this English company, English school up there. They wanted to have audio for all their English material. So Stephanie kind of hooked me up with that job because she was doing it. So I went all the way up there, and I was like, you know what? Let me just walk around a little bit. Like I like the air up here; it just feels nice. It's just people are really relaxed. I have a feeling I'm not gonna be mugged or like I just feel safe, like and cool. So I just did that. I just started walking around. This is the terminal, by the way. That's a nice picture to stop on. And this is from 2017, guys. So forgive the quality of some of these pictures, but that's me just walking around and discovering Campinas, a lot of green areas. I've been back at least 3 or 4 times since then. I took my friend Monica there for an infamous trip where she got really pissed at me and didn't talk for like 2 days because poor girl. We didn't get the bus back on time, so we had to sleep over, and she was not planning on doing that. So yeah, a lot of green area. This is downtown. They have a thing here with bee honey, which is kind of cool. A lot of these old church buildings, guys. Super walkable city. This little place here, I love, Pete. This whole praça, fills up at night. The air is so cool. These bars all have music. Sometimes they have the game on. That loads up. I loved it. A lot of these kind of little straight streets over here that you can get into. And this was my favorite place here. You can see the drinks. Guys, this is the best sandwich I've ever had in my fucking life. This is no lie. I've probably said this before on the show. I have traveled to this city just to eat this fucking sandwich. It is that good. Okay? Look at it. Best sandwich I've had in a long time. And the house sauce is spectacular. Giovanetti's. Go there. It is worth the trip. Okay? There's two of them. I've only eaten at the one, downtown. And then you see it starts filling up. And it's just like a regular old city. So, Pete, if you ever get the chance to go to Campinas, dude, I think you would dig it. It's a very low down city. Just, place to chill. Moving on. Okay. We're going to get to E2. E2, which is about 100 kilometers from Sao Paulo. Okay. It's considered like the city of big things, of exaggerations, because everything's oversized there. And yeah, it's very old. It says here, like founded in 1610. According to AI overview, guys, it's late. It features 19th century architecture, Baroque churches, etc., etc. And I found out last time I was there that it's really where São Paulo was born. And they wrote the Constitution over there and this, that, and the third. Um, and the reason that it's called the city where everything's big is because that was the Brazilian way of getting people to come to the city. So they say, oh, we have the biggest coffee beans and we have the biggest this and we have the biggest that. And so it became known as the city of exaggeration. So as a homage to that, when you go to downtown E2, you see that things are really big. That's a big old payphone over there in the main little plaza. And again, guys, I've been to E2 a couple of times. First, and I lucked out because Pete, I had to work, like a 4-day immersion there, which I did before. It was kind of cool. They would let us sleep in the city and just go to the company. It was for Skin Carriol at the time. Now it's Brasil Kirin. I believe it's still Brasil Kirin. I haven't heard about the company in a while, but they make Baden Baden and Eisenbahn, some of the best beers in Brazil. So yeah, I worked there. It was wonderful, but then there was a little hitch in the plan the next time that I went, and it was 4 days, right? I said, is that when I got there, some Indian guru guy went to the company. He was going to give this talk that was going to last 4 days. So they literally canceled the classes. So what was I to do? Like, the hotel was already paid for, everything was already paid for. The company was nice enough to be like, yeah, just stay there just in case they call in the morning and say, hey, we want class. And that's exactly what I did, except I had like a paid 4-day vacation in E2, and it was fabulous, guys. I walked around this little city. There's a little train. There's a lot of little museums. This is from 2015. Okay, I went to the Electricity Museum. There it is. Altice Day. I'm not a good speller, as you can see, and I hope I'm sharing this, Pete. You got to be my eyes. Oh, there you go. I am sharing it. Um, and yeah, there's a lot of these little museums going on over there. That was really cute. And you're not going to see big buildings in the city, guys. It's totally interior. There's some of the prices, but this is from 2015, guys. I'm sure it's gone up a bit. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, there's
a
some really,
lot.
yeah. But it's still not that much. Let me see. This is 100,000 to get some land, and then buy your apartment starting at 150,000, and then yeah, no, it's probably double that now for sure. There's some gay pinga, Pete. If you drink that, you turn gay. And then you have the big payphone, the big guitar. It's so kitschy. It's so. Oh, and Pete, have you ever eaten at this bar do Alemão? Have you ever eaten there?
No.
If you ever get the chance, it's one of the best German food places here in São Paulo. Although, well, I can't speak to the ones in São Paulo because it's so popular that it became a little chain restaurant. But this is the original one in Itu. And y'all, I ate here. I thought like it was heaven, guys. It was heaven. They did the bacalhau, the codfish that they do,
Hmm.
uh, and the parmesan, and then I mean, it's Brazil, guys. So, I just said it's a German restaurant and we're talking, Portuguese codfish, but, guys, just roll with it. Okay. There is German food there too, but you're going to get the classics, like the stuff that Brazilians really appreciate, and they do it like next level, Pete. It's food I still remember like to today. Really good. In at E2, you can also, or in E2, you can go to the little farm that they have there, the chocolate farm, which is cute, and see all the cute little animals and blah blah blah. And I think I show up somewhere around here on this little truck right there. I don't know, but yeah, super cute city, guys. You can get in and out. I'm pretty sure that this trip here, I was there with there I am, with my sister. So they just decided when they were here in São Paulo, hey, let's take a drive up to E2, and that's what we did. We spent about 3-4 hours there and came back to São Paulo. So definitely a little city worth visiting. Next, Pete, we got a couple more. Is Guarujá. okay, which is known as the Pearl of the Atlantic. Okay, it's a popular coastal city in São Paulo state, located on Santo Amaro Island. It's only 87 kilometers to the city. And Peter, when is this damn train ever gonna show up? Remember there was supposed to be this train to Santos?
Yeah, yeah. It's still actually not that difficult to get to. It actually takes longer to get from where I live to the bus terminal than it does to get from the bus terminal to Santos.
Yeah, no, it's so close that a lot of people live there and work in Sao Paulo. Cause it's the beach, so it's only like an hour drive, and they're up in Sao Paulo, depending where they work. Um, but if
And
that
it's like the
train,
largest port in Latin America as
oh,
well.
yeah, it's a super important city, and it is ranked usually as one of the top cities in Brazil to live in, which for me is weird because I've driven. I mean, okay, it's unfair for me to say because I've never actually stopped and like let me enjoy Santos. I've always driven through it to get to this city that we're going to talk about, which is Guarujá, which is the next city over, and it's the kind of the Brazilian getaway, not Brazilian, the São Paulo getaway. A lot of people vacation here that are from São Paulo if they don't want to like deal with going all the way up to Rio. So it's very touristy, guys. Just be aware of that. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it is a nice place. And there's a beach right next to it, Pete, called Bertioga, and I actually like Bertioga a lot. I went there. I've been there what twice already, and both times I really, really like the place. People are very friendly. It's a little bit more low key. It's not all flashy. Like I went to some crazy parties down. Yeah, you can get wild down there too, but you can also just chill out. There's a place there called Riviera, which I think is a little bit more expensive, but there's like a whole chain of beaches there from the very rich. I think Pernambuco Beach is one that is for very, very rich people. Here, these are some pictures from 2015. Oh, by the way, Pete, look at this picture here. I took it because even though my camera at the time was kind of shitty, I think you can see here, Pete, right? Oh, I can't zoom in, so forget about it. But on the left here, it's kind of yellowish. And that's not a camera effect. That's because there's this city on the way down to Guarujá, which was infamous for how polluted it was, to the point where like it became an emergency factor, and people really, really, really had to clean it up. Now it's a lot cleaner, but a lot of people were born with deformities there. And I forgot the name of the city. It's do you remember the city, Pete? I forgot. It's not
No, I mean I don't get out of Sao Paulo much.
Okay, city with a lot of pollution. I completely had a brain drain there. In São Paulo, it's not Taboté. Is it something with a T? It is. I'm trying to look here, but I can't find it. Wait, city with a lot of no, with a lot of population. That's what I did wrong. I want to say city with a lot of pollution in São Paulo. Health crisis. Now we're gonna get it. It was the city of. Oh, it's really hard to get information. Eh? Really hard. Okay. But anyway, guys, that is a city on the way down. It'll come to me at some point. And here is Guarujá, as you can see, which is not polluted like that. And there's me dressed for the beach, as always. And you can see it's just a nice beach. And this place here, I really recommend. I shouldn't have be giving it away. It's such a little hidden jewel. It's called the Eden Beach. It's a little cove, and it's close to Projeto Tamar. And if anybody knows Projeto Tamar, that's the project that protects sea turtles. So every once in a while, you'll get some sea turtles that will get real close to you here on these rocks. My friend Rebecca, in fact, took some really nice pictures. And there's a dead something, okay, in a boat. And I like this picture, Pete, because it looked like something out of Star Wars. And there's my sister and my brother-in-law and everything. And yeah, This is just, Guarujá. It's a place a lot of people like. You can get up here on the hills and you get some beautiful views. And there's that polluted city again, which I forgot the name of. And I think that's kind of going in a circle. But yeah, it's a great place for you guys to visit if you are ever in São Paulo. Now, another one. We're gonna get another beach place, Pete, called Peruíbe. Have you ever heard of Peruíbe, Pete?
No.
1 second here. Cubatão. I wasn't gonna be able to let that go, guys. Cubatão was the name of that city that was extremely polluted. But now we got Peruíbe. It's a coastal city in São Paulo state. Okay, about 140 kilometers, 2 hours from São Paulo city. And Pete, it's known as the national capital of ufology. Okay, because of its extensive, it's known for extensive nature, beaches, etc. You can see what I'm looking at there on the screen, and I've been there before. Really nice city. Again, not very far from Sao Paulo. Is it day? It's a day trip, but you got to leave early. Like you would have to leave like 6, 7 a.m. to try to get there by 10, and then enjoy the day, and then you can leave there by like 7, 8 o'clock. Because the traffic can be a bit heavy if you're going down to the beach. And yeah, it's known as a UFO capital, which I think is pretty wild. Here's some pictures from when I was there. This is actually next. It's a neighboring city called Pedro de Toledo. I was here for before heading over to Peruíbe, but this is a really nice area too. Oh, and we had a nice little party there. You can see all these snails and stuff like that. But where's the beach pictures? I kind of effed that up. I was supposed to go this way. All right, there's me there. But let me show you these beach pictures, guys, because there's these mountains there. But it's a very pretty area, right? As you can see there. But it's very rugged. This is the beach. Oh, there's somebody in this picture here, but I like this picture just because you can see how it's got the mountains that go straight down to the beach. There you go. And a lot of people there. And the word is, Peter, that a lot of UFOs at night come out of these mountains. A lot of people see some weird stuff. It's very craggy. And some people believe that there's me there. A lot of people believe that there's some form of uh, Area 51 type place inside these mountains, which is pretty cool. And then there's this little house. It's just there in the middle of the rocks, which is kind of nice. And okay, that's just on the way down. You get a little picture of the fish. So definitely, I recommend Peruíbe. Now, Pete, have you ever been to this little city? This one's even closer. Embu das Artes. I think this is the one that's going to be the closest of all of these cities. You ever been there?
No, no. Like I said, I don't really go anywhere, man.
All right. So Embu das Artes, Pete, you got to get out of this place one day if you can. It's
Requires photo ID to buy a bus ticket, though. Unfortunately.
No, this now that's why I said this place you can get to because you can use a city bus to get down here.
Well,
Actually, I tell you what, yeah, if you get a blah blah car, I think you may have to have like just ID to get into the site, so that's gonna be difficult for you. Yeah, it's because I was thinking to get to Bertioga, you can get all the way through the metro to the city called Estudantes, but I think there you need to get one of those buses that need photo ID, so that is tough. You would have to check. Oh, I know how you can get to the beach, Pete. The place where they don't ask for photo ID. Go to Javaquara. Get on those fucking vans. They go up and down every fucking day. I mean, they're clandestine. They're not, registered, but that's how everybody that doesn't have fucking ID goes down. And it's cheap. It's like $20, $10. Do that. I gotta get Pete down to the beach. I'm gonna get you down there, Pete. Well, are you still friends with that dude? What's his name? He moved down to Santos.
Tiago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He started an enterprise, and we were gonna be working together, but I don't know. It never got back to me. You know, like Tiago's like that. He has these like great plans, great ideas, and then he doesn't really follow through on a lot of them.
I got you. I got you. So, all right. But I know that he was living in Santos for a while, but we'll see if we can make that happen, guys. A lot of things to change in the following years, but I can't talk about it, which will free up my schedule a little bit and get me to go up and down and all over this town because I miss taking like crazy little trips like that. But it's seriously like people do that all the time. I totally forgot. Like they just go to Jabaquara, get on one of those fucking vans, pay those guys like $10, and you go down with the regular folk. Now in Budas Archis, you don't even have to do all that. In Budas Archis, guys, it's like literally next door. Like if I go on some crazy running spree, which sometimes I do, I think I've run halfway to Budas Archis from my house. Like it's that close. Okay. Yeah, look, about 30 to 45 minutes from São Paulo. So it's like going to Cochia, Pete. Yeah, just that this city is way nicer looking than Cochia or Osasco because it's this little hippie town. It's like this little colonial village. Look at all it's all colorful and all cute and stuff. But it's not like I don't know. It's Brazilian, so it doesn't get like annoying cute. It's not like going to like Hoboken or like whatever, like some hippie festival, like the Fire Festival, whatever the hell it is in the U.S. The Straw Man, right? What was that one, Pete? Out
Yeah,
in
the
Nevada.
straw man's in Nevada.
Nevada. Yeah, it's not like its own. It's not anything like that, or I don't like that vibe. At least this is like visiting Hobbit land. This is like going to Lord of the Rings. But if Lord of the Rings were a bunch of Brazilians who liked cachaça, guys, and I'll tell you, here we took a group of people down there. Some of them no longer part of the expat groups, but they were there at this moment. And we had this is a nice restaurant, but let me show you a little bit. Oh, this is my cigar. Get my cigar when I get a chance. Nice place, but let me show you the city. There it is. And that's from my crappy camera in 2021. This was around COVID, by the way. This is like you can see people still got their masks on. Look at that. Super cute place. But again, it doesn't give off this pretentious vibe. But I think that's just because it's Brazilian. And look at this cachaça taste bud. You can spend all day here. They're like, try a little bit of this and try a little bit of that and try. It's every flavor imaginable of cachaça here. There's some more. And this is when I started drinking more cachaça. I'm like, all right, this shit's pretty wild. And there's a little girl there giving all the cachaça away. Mm. And there is some more wine. There's folks, and we got the center of Embudas Arches, which is right there. There's some more folks, and oh, I think I took something home. I think I took something home. And where is this? Is this Embudas Arches at home? Or is that Embudas Arches? Oh, I think it is. All right, because I kind of circled back. And guys, I opted to show this picture because I have no idea who this guy is and why he's all like behind me and looks kind of happy. Maybe he knew me from the channel, but I have no clue how he connects to anybody else on this picture. Uh, well, I think you can tell why he doesn't connect to anybody else in the picture. But big ups to Asian dude in the mask. Now, Pete, this is a place you can get to, bro. This is not like a big journey, and it's definitely worth it. I think you get some good vibes over there. Maybe buy yourself some crystals, Pete. Anyway, guys, I think we're wrapping up for tonight. So next week, I think hopefully we'll have somebody on, a very special guest, the very first guest, the founder of all that is good and great in the Brazil Expat Journal, and that would be Tracy. Okay, I'm pretty sure we have confirmed for next Monday she will be back, and she'll be talking about some stuff that's difficult to get down here in Brazil in terms of ingredients and things of that nature. So tune in for that. I'm very excited to have her. And she's always a great guest. Okay, so if you have questions about food in Brazil, I know some stuff is really hard to get. We're finally getting some good waffles down here, by the way. I had some real nice
Yeah,
blueberry.
unfortunately, fucking Bombay discontinued chili powder. You know that spice company, Bombay, they actually have it's a domestic company, but they have a lot of foreign spices. And one of the spices they carried was chili powder, and they fucking stopped making it. Pisses me off, man. Not that I can afford it nowadays anyway, but damn, like
Just
that
knowing
was
it's there is nice.
yes.
I'm that way with some, I mean, it's nothing healthy like, chili powder, but with some drinks that, used to be easier to find the Canada Dry. I haven't seen that in a while. And I think they tried with the, what do you call that, Arizona iced tea down here. And I used to see it in a lot of like the regular convenience stores, but I guess nobody got into it. And I think it's just Brazilian palates are different because every Brazilian that I would be like, try this, didn't like it, except for one person. And he happens to be right here with me now. He passed the Arizona test, guys. He passed the Arizona test. But yeah,
And
like
one of the weirdest
it's just
trends here
different
too is they're
taste.
starting to sell in like even normal grocery stores. They're starting to sell taco kits, but you can't find the fucking seasoning anywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
But
what
isn't
is the
it in the
fucking point of
box?
a taco kit if you don't have the taco seasoning?
Oh, usually it's in the box though, isn't
No,
it?
it's not. It's
Oh,
not. I
yes, it
bought.
is.
You just get like 10 shells. That's it.
No, there's two because I mean at least the place I went to the one that's kind of green near the metro station. I forgot the name. Padrão, maybe.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
yeah.
those taco kits, and it's like a little box. It's like this that's on the screen. Look at this. It's similar to this. Wait up. Let me share that. One second. Share the screen. Taco kit. And yeah, there's a taco kit right there. And what these have, they actually have the packet inside because I bought this before,
Oh,
and
okay.
those packets are really good. Now, maybe you saw something like this, but I know in Padrón, like it's right in the, it's not in the aisle. You know, those like that little space that you have like in between the aisles, like those little
Yeah,
shelves.
yeah.
It's gonna be there, like back towards the bakery area. And at least last time I was there, it's just like I didn't have the money for it because it is 51 reais. So you got to shell
Holy
up,
shit.
no pun intended, you got to shell up some reais to get this. Although I'm telling you, man, I'm in this phase where I'm working my ass off so much, Pete, trying to get shit that I'm like, you know what? I deserve some fucking maple syrup. Like my maple syrup just finished. We got some buttermilk waffles this weekend. And like I wasted the rest. Well, I didn't waste it, but I used the rest of that maple syrup because that shit was good. I gotta buy some more, but it's so expensive. It's like almost it's like $100 almost. You
Yeah.
know, shit's expensive. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna buy some plastic bags. By the way, and I'm getting them from this dude, this street vendor for the bags. And by the way, here's a pro tip in Brazil: if you have people that are trying to sell you bags on the street, buy them. I don't know where they get those bags, but they're way stronger. Like I swear to you, I went to the fucking market because you're busy, so it's tough to like meet up with these people. But usually they sell these bags near the metro station. I was actually with Craig when this other dude was like, "Hey, you want to buy bags?" I was like, "Not right now," but he gave me his number. But there's this other dude from before that I bought bags from. And what I mean by bags, guys, is like the black garbage bags. Okay, so I buy the bags at the Açaí, whatever the big mega store down here, dude. I swear to you, the dude messages me. I haven't heard from him in like a year, and he's like, "Dude, I need a little help to buy gas for my family. Do you want to buy any bags?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, dude, I just bought bags." But he's a nice guy, and I do want to help him out. So I was like, "All right, I'll get some bags for you." He's like, You want the heavy duty ones? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, I sell them for R$ 2 per bag. There's 60 in the bag. It's gonna be 120 reais. I was like, what? That's not happening. So I brought that number down. I got the regular strength bags, guys. But even the regular strength bags, because that's the thing, Eduardo, because you know, I need to have my rest day. So this is my beauty rest day, right? So I'm like, I ain't taking the trash out, basically. So I told him, can you just go today? I'll do it Wednesday and Friday. I promise, right? And he's gets the bag and he's like, that shit's torn already. It's like it's really bad quality garbage bags down here, guys. So if you want the heavy duty ones, you gotta pay a little bit more, but get it from these motherfuckers on the street. I kid you not, those bags are better. Like most of the stuff actually that you're gonna get that's heavy duty, that's gonna work for real, Pete. For real, is people on the street. Even if you're talking like cleaning shit, like every once in a while, some truck will pass by your street, and this guy will be like, "It's the cleaning truck. It's the cleaning truck in your town. It's annoying as fuck." But that's the shit that'll clean like Ebola, and like it's gonna get you clean for like nuclear winter. So get that stuff. That stuff's for real. In the fitas, right, Pete? Even like if you actually go to the fitas instead of the supermarket, that's when you're gonna get the fresher produce. The like that's the real shit right there in Brazil that you want. So pay attention to that. And I think that's it, Pete. We will talk at length next week about food, about where to find stuff, how much it costs, what to save up for, and what to just forget about. Because you're in a different country. Sometimes it's just like deal with it, right? Because there's a lot of good stuff that you can find down here. I think it's time for me to play this music right here. Thank you for listening to the Brazil Expat Journal, the BJ you can trust. And thank you for getting us up to 1,800 subscribers, guys. That is a huge, huge number. YouTube is difficult for me to figure out sometimes. I am busy, but we've really made a commitment, Pete and I, to be here every Monday at 10 p.m. If I remember to press the go live button, I did like 20 minutes of show, not live. So we'll try that again next week. We will try that again next week or the week after. Who knows? Guys, have a good evening. And until next time, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. Adios. And good night.